Diaries of a Wannabe Board Game Designer. Entry date 20th of June 2025. Lately I've been familiarizing myself with different applications that one can use to design board game elements. I have two board games that I'm currently mostly designing, and the old tools that I was using were Inkscape, GIMP, Google Slides, and that's kind of a basic uh, tools for graphics and card design and so on. But I did find out that they were not so productive. You can make cards with them and so different kind of layouts, but they are not effective. So I started to search for better tools, and now I've tested two of them, Dextros and Tabletop Creator Pro. So I've made one game with each of them, and they work quite nicely. They're a bit different. There are lots of same things there. They use different terminology for different kind of layout components and so on. There are some limitations that exist in one that doesn't have, and vice versa. So I really don't know yet which one is better. For me, I think I've been using both of these in the future for different kinds of projects. But I want to share what kind of applications are these if you are looking for something that could help your design process to better it a bit, to make it a faster, more proactive or productive. So let's see what we have here. We start with Dextros. So Dextros is a web-based application. You use it with browser, and like it says in their front page, they recommend that you use Chrome browser for it. I haven't tried any other browsers. I usually use Chrome, and you can log in or create free account with your email, and it's ready to use after that. So let's see how it goes. Everything is arranged as projects. I think that with this free edition you have limitation of 3 projects. Let's see. No, 2 projects, 10 layouts, and 100 megabyte storage. So start with the projects. I have no project in this time here, and we can create project here. Let's create a simple card game. I think that we might call this dice game. So we create some cards that are dice numbers and so on. So first we can name our game here. Let's say Dices, and then this is empty game. We don't have anything here, so we need components, and like it says here, we start by adding a components like so, and then it says that a component needs a layout. So layout is something like a blueprint that you can use for your own game components, items that you can say that number is here and the card name is here, and then from the spreadsheet or whatever you change the names of the different items. Let's see. So let's see how this works. It says a connect layout here. We are starting to connect layout. Okay, I have one old layout here, but I want to show you how it works. So let's start by making new layout. If you have layouts already done, you can use your old layouts here. Let's select this new layout, and then we can choose card size and tile shapes and different aspects. We can also have custom sizes for our components or layouts. For this, I like to use bridge cards. So it's about 89 millimeters and 57 millimeters, and make it so. So now we have our card template here. Now it's totally blank, it's white. Here we have our background layout. So it says it's an image layout, so there can be an image, you can put image there. So let's start by checking this background, and this is called zone. Zone is card background. So let's see what can we do with it. Let's color it a bit, and I like gradients, so we can choose gradient background color. Let's make it a blue one, and it looks quite nice, that black one. Not bad, not bad. So what if we change it like this? It's quite nice looking. So this is our card background. But of course, our cards need something else than just a background. And if I'm making a dice simulation with cards, I would use numbers. It needs some values. So let's see how it is done. So let's add a field that contains dice number on our layout. And we do it by adding components or zone to our layout, and possibilities are here. We have text zone, image zone, text zone with clip path shape. Really haven't used these before. It seems that we have different shapes that we can use as background for our text. Flex container, you can choose different kinds of orders or features that this container has, and you can paste something from your clipboard also. For this, we are making text zone, and just click it, and it's here. It says that zone name is zone 1 text, also shown here. So first thing I want to do, I want to change this. I want to say that it is a dice value, so later on I know what this should contain. And then let's say we have a text there. This is default text. This isn't actual card text. This is something that is always default. Let's say it's 0, and now we see that, oh, it doesn't, I can't see the 0 there. So it needs to be bigger. We can change it here. Then of course we have a choose of fonts. There are a lot of fonts available here. Oh, this eagle lake looks nice. Let's use that. Then let's make it a bit bigger again, like so. Let's like put it in the middle. As you can see, it helps me to find the middle place now. It is there. Okay, quite good looking. And now what else? Let's make it a bit different color. So see, how about white? It's nice. Then I think for this we need some stroke there. Okay, it's quite nice. To add something else, let's make another text field here. Create text zone. Let's add it on top of here, and now we can say that it's a dice description. Goes here. Let's make it a bit bigger. Oh, no, not that's good. And one thing to note here is that you can drag these components, and you can choose from this zone hierarchy here which one is on top of each other. You can put in inside each other, or let's see, I want to put dice value on top of the description, like so. So dice value is always on top. A different kind of situation, you can put your images on background and text on top of them, or vice versa, and so on and so on and so on. So let's take this description and drag it back up. So Very simple. Okay, this is our layout. Now what we do, we name this. Let's say it's a dice layout. So our layout is named as dice layout. Now we are ready to make the actual cards. So let's go back to home. Just for our project, we have this untitled project here. We have to name our project like the dice game. I press enter, so it's saved. And now we have one card here, which is the default value. Well, of course, we don't have 0 as a value in our dices. So let's make this D4. So here we have our card values. So there's only one card. There's one copy of card that has value of 0. So we can change those here. Let's say it's 1, and then we say that this is D4. Did I say D4? Now it's D4 dice here. And card background, we could choose a different image for the background here or tune the colors or so on, but we don't want to do that. And let's make more cards. So just click here. Now we have 4 of them. I just copy paste this D4 dice here, and then let's make the values like so. Now we have a 4 card deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 dice, and here are our components. So it's currently untitled. Let's say that this is D4 deck. So like so, and every card of course has background. Currently we are using default background. You can have different layout for backgrounds. So if I would like to do another deck, I will do it by adding new components here. Let's say now we want to do D6 deck like so. And of course it asks what layout we are using. And now we see that there's our dice layout that we just made. Let's choose that. Okay, well, I did click on the value there, but let's make 6 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's dice description. Let's say it's a D6 dice. You could do this for the background, but for example, I do it here. Like so. Now we have a deck of dice D6 and another deck for D4. Like so. So we are ready. Now, of course, what do you do with this design? You need to get this printed so you can test your nice dice game. So we can click export. We can choose which components we want to export. Let's export everything. Now we have here all the cards we have on our game, and it's ready to be printed with your own printer or published as a PNB game. And that's basically it. From the page setup here, you can put crop marks. Let's use black color for that it makes it a bit easier for cut the cards out of the paper and so on. So a lot of different options here. And then we just click export. wants to manage all my windows, let's allow it. So we have options of to make a PDF. That's the good one for the PNP and the physical prototypes. Then we can generate card images, separate images of the different cards. We can automatically create tabletop simulator files by clicking this. It actually uploads the images to the cloud, and you get one JSON file that you can just copy paste to your tabletop simulator directories, and it's ready component to be used there. And then we can create different screentop GG files to create our game on that environment. Well, that's basically it. If I just click Chrome printer, it tells me some facts. How does this work? It helps you forward. We create PDF. You can see, choose a printer or save as PDF. And so here it is. So basically quite simple process. We had just created prototype cards for 2 decks, one for D4 and one for D6 simulation with cards. Easy. Okay, let's do the same thing with another tool. Let's switch to Tabletop Creator Pro. Pretty much similar process. Let's start by saying it's new. And so we have a layout here. We have already one component or set, as the Tabletop Creator calls it. We have our game name here. Let's say it's the dice game. And what's Dijkstra's called layouts is called blueprints in Tabletop Creator. So every set has their own blueprint that they use, just as it was in the Dijkstra's version. The terms are a bit different, but same idea. So let's edit this blueprint. We have default blueprint that looks like this. There is default logo of the Tabletop Creator and some text fields, some borders, and so on. And on the right side here we have layers, as we had those in Dijkstra's also. So the difference is that in Tabletop Creator you cannot form hierarchies using layers, so you can't do that, but you can order these layers in different and components in different layers to different orders and achieve pretty much same things. So usually I like to delete everything and start from scratch. So we have this default card front layer here, so I just delete everything, so I have good clean situation here. And from viewport selection here we can change that our card background is, let's say it's white. So now it's pretty much similar what it was when we used Dijkstra's. So let's say that this is name of the layout is, or blueprint is, dice card, and layout size is set here. Different kind of bleeds and another printing options can be selected here. We also can change the shape, rectangles, different polygons, and so on, but we are using cards at the moment. And let's start by creating a panel. These components in layers are called panels, and by default it's a text one. But I want to create a background that has some color there. So let's change this. We don't want it to be text, but we want it to be an image. So you need to click this advanced so you can change this type of the panel and reuse image. One thing I've noticed that you cannot do gradient backgrounds in directly in a tabletop creator, so you need to have an image that has some gradient, and that's why I choose an image here. So we have this one here, so then we might want to open an image picker to select the image. Okay, there are lots of different already icons and images that we have here, but I just want to use one from my pictures. I have SVG files here from previous games, and it's as you can see, it's a red to white transparent image. Quite simple image, even I can do this. And then we just make it to fill the whole card. And I put it a bit larger than the card itself so that we have bleed here. So we can turn, rotate the image. Let's say it would be nice to have one this way around. Okay, now we have a background color which is gradient. Let's change the name of the panel so that this is like so. And then what we other things we need, yes, we need the text, the value of the dice. So we need new panel. Let's change the name to the dice value. We put it here. Let's put it in the middle, a bit too big, like so. Default value, let's say it's 0. Now we see that it's too small. Let's make it a bit bigger, like so. We can change it here. Going. Now it's great. What would be a nice font? We have all the fonts that have been installed in my computer here. So, well, Comic Sans is always safe choice. Let's change the color. I think we used white one. The earlier design, like so. And then we have outline. Color is black for outline, and thickness is 0 at the moment. So let's make it a bit bigger. Not too big, not that big. Like so. Let's put it in the middle. Then what we had in our dexterous test was the name of the dice or description of the dice. Let's create a new panel there. Let's put it here, like so, and let's name it dice description, like so, and then let's put the default value of dice description there, like so. A pretty much similar process that we had in Dexter's what comes to this layout. Now let's go back, and now we have our information here, and we can start. Let's say that this is the D4 version, so we need 4 cards, like so, and then we can change the values here. For this card it's 1, for this card it's 2. It's a bit different. You don't have that kind of a spreadsheet view here in Tabletop Creator, but it's a lot easier to change different colors and artifacts here compared to the Dextros. Now then the dice description. This is D4 dice, like so. Let's copy this and add it to all the cards here, like so. Then we have our D4 here. Now, if we want to do more, we just, let's see, where is this? Oh, it's down here. We need new set, like so, with the dice card layout or blueprints, and we call this D6. And D6 has 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's edit that. Let's say that this is also D6 dice, like so. 1. There's an easier way to do this, but for example purposes, I'm not using it at the moment. Let's make this 4. And 6, like so. And now we have 2 different sets of cards. Oh, one thing. Also, of course, we have backsides that we didn't design. We have default backgrounds for the cards this time, but you can have different layouts for the backgrounds and create those also in this Tabletop Creator version. Now, of course, again, you don't do anything with this design if you cannot print it. So let's see how this export function works in Tabletop Creator Pro. We go here and choose export. Then we have options here to export as PDF, individual images, grid sheet images, which is basically for Tabletop Simulator or Screentop GG. That requires a bit more file transferring when compared to the Dextros way of working, but quite easy also. And then we have different settings, what cards we want here and so on. But let's see this PDF. This is about the default look. So what I want to do is that I have space between images is basically zero, so I can just use one cut there. And I usually like to make these cut lines a bit larger so that I can easily see them when I'm cutting cards. And this is pretty much it. There are a lot of different kind of options that you can use to tune these, and then just export. And now I have my file available. It actually in another screen it opens the file explorer so I can see the PDF. So this is how it works with Tabletop Creator Pro. Okay, these are the 2 tools I've tested so far. They both seem pretty great. I don't know which one I'll be using more in the future. But they both have one feature that I haven't been talking about yet. So one thing that these both tools allow you to is to use spreadsheets, Google Sheets or Excel or CSV files to create cards or edit the card values. And that really makes it very simple and fast process to create massive amounts of cards. Of course, you still design the layout or blueprint on the application, but then you can design the actual card values, change those values, have some kind of a version history of your decks in a spreadsheet format, then upload or link that spreadsheet to these applications, and they just update all the cards you have there using the information in the spreadsheets. So that's one thing that made my productivity to really rise when I made these my own card game designs using these tools. That's something that I recommend that you look into if you are interested in looking these applications. For both, I first exported the first version, so I saw the column names and the information that was there, and then I added values and imported it back. Actually, in Dextros, you can link your spreadsheet in Google Docs or Google Sheet spreadsheet directly to the Dextros project and just click one button, refresh, so it always gets the card information from that Google Sheets and then updates it to the cards. You can use CSV or Excel file format with Tabletop Creator Pro. So then there is a question about money. So you can get started for free with Dextros. There's limitations. You can have only 2 projects. You can have only 10 layouts and 100 megabytes of storage in free version. If you pay it starting from 48 euros per year, you can raise those limitations, and even higher paid plans you can get different kinds of PDF tuning. You can have color profiles defined in your PDFs and so on if you need those. So definitely, if you're using Dextros much, you have many projects going on, you might want to take this paid plan. Then again, Tabletop Creator Pro is more pay once, use forever model. So currently, I think its price on the Steam is something like 97 and something euros. And yeah, then you have your local application. You have all the benefits of the local application. You are not dependent on internet connectivity, which is the case with Dextros. Of course, you have all the not so good things of local applications also there. But in any case, they are a bit different approaches to this matter. Personally, for me, I like more the pay once, use forever model, because all these monthly payments or yearly payments easily add up and ends up with a lot of costs in the end. So that's all for this time. If you like these videos, click like, click subscribe, and we'll see you next time.